For this course, we're only going to have a couple clips, one focusing on decision making and the other budget. With respect to decision making, there needs to be a fundamental understanding that this is not the 2D process. So the impact on your design phases, whether it's 3D, simple BIM, or super BIM, is the fact that you've got to make decisions as early as possible and ensure that the decisions are true and kept. Here's a simple chart that we use to explain. The four-phase delivery process, 30, 60, 90, 100, it's paramount and it works exactly as it should. The idea here is that the bulk of these decisions are supposed to be as early as possible. So that period between 30 and 60 is of the utmost importance. The four-phase checklists reflect this. As we move down the list, the red line representing detailed modeling, as we approach 90%, your real design modeling should be coming to an end. If it's not, you're going to have a critical issue in that you probably won't be able to deliver your deliverables, assuming they're 2D deliverables, and BIM may be blamed wrongfully. Extractions, so the generation of drawings, whether it's through a dynamic or static means, has to be done to ensure the sanctity of those deliverables. So it cannot be done 2 or 3 days before that delivery process. The extractions or the sheet generation, set them up early, run the processes often, and ensure that come the end, they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Don't dwell on the details while you're modeling. Know what you have to model. So for example, if you need to know a parapet overhang, a roof overhang, ensure you know that when you model it, but the actual particulars of it you don't need to know until the model's at substantial completion. And annotations, don't dwell on placing texts and notes and details until everything is done. Put what you need to deliver 30, 60, and 90, but then once you get from 90 to 100, that's when the bulk of your work will occur. It's critical that this happens in this manner, because just imagine if that decision hump, the gray hump behind, if that's pushed over to 90%, everything else that's supposed to happen gets compressed. So that's the main impact, is to understand the scheduling ramifications and ensure as design or project managers that decisions are being made in a timely fashion. And that'll just ensure a smooth BIM process. Next, consideration needs to be given to budget. Now, budget is interesting when you have BIM because it's not all about the sheet. Yet, when we look at historical data and we plan for projects, especially in the conceptual phases or proposals, it's quickly based on an estimated sheet count. So here's an example of a budget spreadsheet. Notice that we've got, drawing numbers, drawing name, responsible leads, percent complete on the drawing, and whether the drawing resides in the 30, 60, 90, or 100 deliverable. That's your typical drawing list. But the difference here is not only are we statusing drawings, but if I scroll down to the bottom, we're also statusing the model. So the thing here is, we actually, in this example, the drawings or sheets themselves are weighted in order to understand the completion or the impact to the budget. So for example, here are your deliverables. So everything that was up in the drawings chart comes into play here. But its percentage, if you notice, taking architectural for example, the 3D model for the actual budget is weighted at 60%, whereas deliverables are only 30%. If we take structural, the model is 45%, cleanup for extractions is 15%, and then the deliverable is 40. So this was an attempt to say, yes, sheet count is important, and that's what we base it on, but the actual weighting of statusing the project is looked at not only by sheet count, but also by my ability to either have my model completed, or whether the extractions are completed, or whether I'm even at the deliverable stage. So my deliverables could, for example, my sheets could be 0% started, yet my model could be 100% complete. So if I was in the architectural discipline, 100% done my model, 0% done my deliverables, I would still be 60% done on the project. As opposed, if it was all about the sheet count, even if I was completely done my model, the project manager would think I've made zero progress on the project. So just keep that in mind. This is an example of a tool. Various tools can be used. The main message is sheet count is a good starting point to estimate the project, but when statusing the project, sheet count is just a piece, and the model has to be taken into consideration.